Good morning, everyone. This is Teacher Jasper again, welcoming you to another week of our online lessons. Now, for this week, we're going to start with social stratification and social desirables. There are only three subtopics that we'll be talking about for this. The first one is social inequality, the next is social stratification, and the last one is social desirables. As we all know, society is composed of different individuals who possess different characteristics and are born in different circumstances. You agree? You are surely different from your classmates, not only in terms of physical appearance, but also in terms of personal attributes or characteristics, as well as different levels of power, wealth, and prestige. Some of you are quite famous than the others, some of you are well off. Apparently, these could have adverse effects on the equality of members of a society. Now, speaking of equality, now this equality can be influenced by the availability and accessibility of the social resources. The patterns of unequal accessibility and availability of social resources is what is known as social inequality. By the way, we're going to talk about these two things here, accessibility and availability. First is availability. When you say availability, it refers to the presence, absence, or scarcity of the resources or the social desirables. I will be talking about social desirables next meeting. Okay, now, presence, absence, or scarcity of the resources. In some communities or in some societies, uh, they have scarce resources. That's why some people could not gain much or could not have what they need, while others can, of course, if they have access. And the second is accessibility. It refers to the actual ways and means of availing the resources. A great example is the supply of rice. While many people say that we don't have enough supply of rice, some people basically have no access to the resources or to the rice itself. Like, even if there are tons of rice there, but you don't have money to buy, then you can't have any. So that is the point of accessibility. Now, social inequality reflects innate differences between individuals, for example, their varying abilities and efforts. Someone might be intellectually superior to others, or someone might be more talented and skillful than others. Social inequality can be observed in the four corners of our social world. Hence, this phenomenon is also referred to as social stratification. Social stratification refers to the division of large social groups into smaller groups based on categories determined by economics. Members of society are arranged in a hierarchy based on their access to or control over basic economic resources. It gives rise to inequality in society as members are distinguished by their membership and relation to social groups and categories. So, uh, whether we accept it or not, our society is actually stratified, meaning we see people who are kind of elite and some belong to the lowest sector. We have working class, we have different levels. Okay, sociologists relate social stratification to social standing. But what are the bases of social stratification, especially in modern time? In larger traditional societies and in several countries today, the common basis of social stratification include wealth, property, access to political power, race, gender, and religion, and other identifiable bases of social stratification. Now, there are systems of stratification. We have the closed system and the open system. Let's start with the closed system. Closed systems impose rigid boundaries between social groups and limit interactions among members who belong to different social groups or occupy different levels in the social hierarchy. This system is also resistant to change, particularly in the social roles of its members. An example of a closed system stratification is the caste system in India. It is a closed stratification system because people are unable to change their social standing. People born into a caste society are socialized to accept their social standing. they will remain there throughout their lives. So there's no way for them to move up or down the ladder. It promotes social inequality. People are assigned occupations regardless of their talents, interests, or potential. There are virtually no opportunities to improve one's social position. Actually, that caste system has something to do with their religion also, because they believe in uh, nirvana. So if they can break that cycle, they can be one with their God. Okay, the second one is open system. Open system is based on achievement, allowing more flexibility in social roles, increased social mobility, and better interaction among social groups and classes. One example of an open system is the system we have in our society. That is what we call the class system. It is a stratification system based on the ownership of resources and individual's occupation or profession. A social class is composed of people who share the same background and characteristics such as income, education, and occupation. Class systems base social status on achievement rather than ascription and are thus more open in terms of social mobility. People, therefore, are free to move from one social class to another and achieve a higher status in life through education and employment. So I guess we're kind of lucky because we have this open system type of stratification. So if you work hard, there's a chance that you will get far in life. But if you slack off, then I don't know. I would not judge. Okay, moving on. The context of social desirables. Oh, wait. What do you aspire to have? Or what are the things you want to achieve? Now, it is a fact that we all want something. Any rational individual in a human community will always aspire for things that bestow wealth, power, and prestige. Unfortunately, our ability to realize our aspirations is severely constrained by situations where one is born into. And that is a sad story. For example, we are born with different characteristics called ascribed traits like sex, ethnicity, and assigned social class. We can change them. Also, we are born into a particular religion and, of course, with a definite physical appearance. Some of these traits are difficult to change. However, some can be changed as one progresses toward adult life and earn the ability to make decisions and choices. That's why we hear success stories of people who made it big in life. From rags to riches stories have become inspiration to others to conquer life. And maybe you heard of being born poor is not your fault, but dying poor is your own doing. You see, that means you really have to do something. In sociology, these things that we aspire are referred to as social desirables. These are factors that are accepted or desired in a society which are associated with social status, popularity, acceptance, or approval. To put it simply, social desirables are the resources considered valuable by societies. Traditionally, the three most common social desirables are wealth, power, and prestige. These three. Okay, wealth is the accumulated economic capital of an individual or group. Power is the capacity of an individual to influence another person to perform an act that he or she would not otherwise do. Prestige, on the other hand, is the level of honor in human society. Now, possession of these desirables defines the social standing of individual relative of others. In other words, it defines their social status. Different sociologists have different ideas as to what constitutes social class. Karl Marx, for example, so here, ideas about social class. So Karl Marx, for example, he looked at social class in terms of wealth produced in relation to the ownership of the means of production. For example, if you're the owner of the company, you get most of the profits gained by your company's operation compared to that of your employees. Wealth may refer to money, properties, and similar tangible resources. Max Weber, on the other hand, referred to, for him, wealth, power, and prestige constitute social class, so it's not only wealth. Individual social standing can be measured all at once based on the relative access to these three. For example, a college professor may have less power and less wealth, but he or she enjoys a lot of prestige. A government employee may have less wealth and less prestige, but he or she may have power or more power in that sense. Now, we are fortunate that our society is structured in resonance to the principles of an open system of stratification. You may not be born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but you have the power to change the course of your life. You just have to dream, believe, and survive. Have a great day to all of you.